Alright guys, so here's what's up. So I've gone and looked at the problems to figure out what the deal was. And turns out this function table is your friend, so use it, okay? Anytime you have to do financial functions in Excel, just plan on hitting that little function button up at the top and using this to guide you. So I recommend you set everything up in a table the way that the formula wants you to set it out. So let's look at the present value one that we were trying to do in class. So the guy from the YouTube video used this too. So I basically set up my table in the same way. So rate, present number of periods, I actually moved payment, and then future value and type. Remember, those were optional numbers. So I've already set this up, so I'm not going to do it again. But let's look at problem B1 part A. And in that one we had $50,000 invested for 10 years at 6% interest compounded annually. So if you remember, we went and looked at the table, and 50,000 was multiplied by a factor of 1.791. So we should have gotten 89,550. So putting that same information into the table for Excel, so there's my annual interest rate of 6%, present value of negative 50,000, so we do need to make that a negative number, 10 periods, so 10 years, one payment per period, or 10 years. So the payments made, the present value of the 50,000 is invested now, and we want to know what it's worth in 10 years. So number of periods is 10. Payment is 0 because we're not getting a payment. We're actually just wanting to know what the present value or future value of that $50,000 invested today is. So using the Excel formula, you get 89,542. And that is a lot more accurate than the tables, because the tables actually do some rounding. But we're pretty close, so we can see that this is why I trusted the table number and not the Excel number. So 89,542.38 is the value of that $50,000 invested today, left in there for 10 years at 6% interest. So let's do a slightly more complicated one, problem B3 part D. So this is the problem right here. So we have $25,000 to be received annually for the first 3 years, followed by $15,000 to be received annually for the next 2 years. So there's a total of 5 years in which collections are received, discounted at an annual rate of 8%. Assume collections occur at year end. So first off, don't get overwhelmed by all the information that's in there. When I was taught to do this, I was taught to take this in 3 different steps, okay, and I've laid it out that way, so hopefully you can see it. So let's look at the $25,000 to be received annually for the first 3 years first, okay. So everything's at 8%, so that's not going to change. So our annual interest rate, 8%. The present value right now is 0 because this is an annuity. So you're receiving $25,000 a year for 3 years. So the number of periods is 3, and so here we do have that payment, so negative $25,000. So the future value of those 3 payments is $64,427.42. Okay, so we've taken care of part 1. So let's look at the next part. So $25,000, we've done that, followed by $15,000 to be received annually for the next 2 years. Okay, so this one's a little confusing. What we're looking at is actually $15,000 at 2 different periods. Okay, so the interest rate's the same. The future value is still $15,000, but we want to know what that $15,000 in 4 years, because look, you're receiving $25,000 for the first 3 years. So that means you're going to get $15,000 in year 4. So we want to know what the future value is in 4 years, that $15,000 today. Okay. So that $15,000 in 4 years received at the end of year 4 is actually worth $11,025 today. So you have one more $15,000 payment. You're going to get one more in year 5. So we're going to have to break that up into 2 pieces. So same interest rate. You're still getting $15,000, but you're not getting it until year 5. So we need to discount that for 5 periods. Okay? So that $15,000 in year 5 is $10,208.75. So now we have all 3 parts. We have the $25,000 received annually for the first 3 years, which we figured out there. $15,000 to be received at the end of year 4, and then $15,000 to be received at the end of year 5. Okay? So basically all we're going to do is then, we have all the pieces, we're just going to add all these together. That piece plus that piece plus that piece. Okay? So all of those together are worth $85,662. So, and just take my word for it, if you go use the tables, you'll get the right answer. So, hopefully this clarified it for you a little bit, and you'll realize that this is don't type these formulas in by hand. That, for whatever reason, it just doesn't work well. So, it doesn't work on my computer very well either. So, use the function button, make sure you click on financial, and you should be good to go. So hopefully you can do the extra credit, and then when you carry this over into finance, you won't be totally lost. So thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.